Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm making this video because I had a buddy come to me not long ago, and he's my age. I'm 50 years old, he's 50 years old or a little bit younger. And he told me that he has roughly $50,000 in his 401k, okay, at 50 years old or almost 50. And that's an alarm. You know, uh, you're not going to make it with $50,000 in your 401k at almost 50 years old. You're going to be relying on the government in some shape, way, or form, whether it's medical, housing, food, or all three, or two out of the three, or whatever. You're going to be relying on the government for something. And the thing about being reliant on the government is that they're unreliable. You see it every day when you watch TV and you just like the State of the Union the other day, where there's some things the Republicans do right, and the Democrats still don't want to be like applaud for them doing something right, and it's vice versa. The Democrats will do something right, the Republicans won't, applaud them for what they've done either. It's like two kids fighting back and forth all the time. The Democrats and the Republicans, or Republicans and Democrats. It don't matter. It's just you don't want to get caught up in the middle of what they got going on. So you want to be able to take care of yourself at this point in time. So, and that's why I always talk about stacking two streams of income. There's nothing wrong with having a job. But just like these government employees who are getting laid off from work and they're stressed, these people are stressed out. If you only have one stream of income, I call that stress. It's stress. And you need two streams of income to make it. So, and I did read, I chat GBT this before I got on here. People are starting to get two streams of income, but it's still 70% of Americans, roughly 70%, that still have one stream of income. And that's a large percentage of people. That's a big percentage of people that still only have that one income. So back to my buddy telling me that he only had that $50,000 in his 401k at his age. Automatically I said, hey, you need to start investing. You need to start investing in something. And I always say real estate. Real estate is where I come in at, but you can invest in whatever it is you want, whether it's stocks, rental income, if you want to start another business on the side, grass cutting, whatever. I prefer to have my second stream of income come from somewhere that I don't have to be there physically. That's where I like to get my second stream of income coming from. Because, if you're working at a full-time job and then you have a small business on the side, like say if you're cutting grass on the side, you figure 8 hours at your regular job and then maybe another 4 hours cutting grass when you get off. Or if you want to do it on the weekend, on your days off from your full-time job, that means you don't have any days off. So having something, a reliable source of income coming from somewhere where you don't have to physically be there is, I would think that's what anybody would want. And that's where real estate comes in for me. And I also chat GBT this, most millionaires have 3 to 7 different streams of income. This is where the American people or working class people, W-2 employees, fall short. They get paid from their full-time job, and instead of saving up their money for a little while, you don't have to do this your whole life, but you have to save up money. You have to be responsible for a good amount of time to put that money and start planting seeds in other places outside of that job so that you can get paid from that other source of income. Okay, or and that's the long way of doing it if you want to do it by yourself. Otherwise, you can find like-minded people, investors, and you guys can invest together. You can buy real estate together, or you can buy a laundromat together, or you can buy just any kind of business, or just doing things together. That's the quicker way of getting things done, because everybody's going to run out of money sooner or later. Even me buying real estate, I'm going to run out of money sooner or later, and I'm going to be looking for people who are like-minded and want to invest in real estate so we could put our money together and buy more real estate. That's just the way it does. People work together. You want to work together. So that's what you want to do though. So having so that's what you want to do. And you know, the earlier you do this, the better off you are, but it's never too late. I did this at 45. I retired from my job. I've been retired for almost 3 years now. And people, you know, I worked at my job for 30 years. And you don't have to work at your job for 30 years. I just didn't figure out the game. It took me a long time to figure out what it is I needed to do to get out of there. And I didn't retire because I worked at my job for 30 years. I retired because I found another stream of income. I started to understand the different streams of income. That's how I retired from my job. So working at a job for 30 years does not guarantee that you're going to retire. And, you know, not only that, but having a different stream of income is security. You know, it's a security blanket for those people who, because there's a lot of people who work at jobs, but they don't feel as if they're secure enough to retire. There's people who have millions of dollars in their 401ks, and they just don't feel secure enough in this society, the way things are today, to retire. You know, obviously, when you retire from the job, you want your money to last until you die. You want that's how long you want your money to last. You don't want to have to go back to work. You know, at 85, you don't want your money to run out at 85. You want your money to last until you're gone. That's the plan. The best way to do that, what's the best way to do that? Two streams of income. Not one stream, but two streams. And that's just the building block. Two streams is the building block. Eventually you want to get to 3 and 4 and 5. But it's addictive anyway, because once you get to that second stream of income, you're like, oh, you know what? That was kind of easy. All I do is put forth some effort. Then you start building that second and third and fourth. And before you know it, you got a waterfall. You done graduated from streams to a waterfall. And that's what millionaires have. They just have a waterfall coming in. And the good thing about, you know, one thing about being rich, you can get rich. There's schemes out there to where you can get rich from. You know, you get those phone calls every day, these spam calls. These people are probably rich, but it's a scam. So there's scams that can get you rich. The problem with being rich is if you quit your job, the money stops rolling in. Okay. Now, if you're wealthy, if you quit your job, the money keeps rolling in because you have different streams of income. There's no way to be wealthy with one stream of income. You want to have multiple streams of income if you want to be wealthy. And let me see here if I still have that up. You know, as far as different things that you can invest in. So the seven common income streams of the wealthy. This is important. Earned income, a job or a business. That's number one. And that's what W-2 employees are. That's what pretty much everybody has a job. So number one, that's the most common thing. Okay. Then you have profits from your business. Rental income. I think rental income should probably be number two, right after a job, because rental income, there's so many tax benefits for rental income that rentals, buying property has more tax breaks than any other asset class there is. You will get richer off of rental income than anything else. Okay. And this is where the rich got rich. You know, a lot of these rich people started off with jobs, but then they got into real estate and they got wealthy. They started off rich and got wealthy in real estate. So real estate, that should be like number one or number two in my book. Okay, so number one was earned income. Number two is business profits. Number three is rental income. Number four is stocks, dividends, or dividend stocks, however you want to put it. I suck at stocks, so I'll leave them alone. Capital gains, asset growth, which is real estate. interest income, and royalties and licensing. So you want to get into one of these or two or three. The goal is to get into at least two or three of these. That's the goal. And like I said, I made this video because my buddy, the guy that came to me and told me this, he's not the only one out here like this. He's not. And like I just said before, you don't want to be relying on the government for anything. They fight like kids, and you're going to get caught up in the middle of that, and they're going to dismantle everything, and everybody's going to be pissed off. You're going to be pissed off, and possibly homeless. If people don't start thinking about two streams of income, because I personally believe, and this is a personal view, but it's literally going to be rich and it's going to be poor. We're getting into the era where the billionaires are here and we're starting to get into the trillionaires now. So you got to have to move with the times. People need to start moving with the times and start thinking about that second and third stream of income. And life is a lot easier this way anyway. I know that a lot of people may say they don't like money, but life is a lot easier when you have some in your pocket. There's no going around it. you can do what you want to do. You can go where you want to go. You can work at a job if you want to work there. You can sit at home and do nothing. Hell, there's been a few times I woke up just to take a nap, because I literally have that type of freedom. So who doesn't want that type of freedom? So you guys think about that. Think about that. Think about what else you can do outside of your job. Save up some money or find some like-minded people to invest with, and you will be thanking yourself down the line. That's the most important thing. Today you may be like, oh, I want to go out and do this. I want to go out and do that. You have to be disciplined for a good amount of time, a short amount of time, and but you'll benefit from it and you'll thank yourself down the line later that you did this, because there's still a lot of life left, and people are living longer nowadays. So you want to have money to make it to the end. Okay. So think about that. So, um, that's my video for today. Anybody who's watching this video, if you haven't hit that like button yet, please like it. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, please subscribe. And I'll continue to make these videos, and I'll try to make them as interesting as possible, okay? And videos that benefit you. So thanks to you guys for tuning in, and I hope to see you guys at the next one.